gonna sell a house today, so let's go.
Whispers in my head, what you gonna do? 선택의 기로에 왠지 견내려 해 쉽지 않아도 진실한 나만의 beliefs. You know what they say, don't brag about what you have. Be careful and be humble, otherwise you should be ready to stumble. You know what they say, 자신감이 없니 왜 당당하게 살지를 못해. Keep walking your way.
Okay, it's almost time for our viewing, so let's go prepare the house.
Come a little closer, I wanna dance with you. Everything's moving slower, I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night, trying to figure you out. I just wanna make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand, looking at the sunset. Man, you're looking good tonight. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down.
So seems like those are the buyers. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so we just finished the viewing. So let's get straight down to the topic today. What are the 8 things that you shouldn't say as a buyer viewing a house? Tip number 1. These are the words that you should never say when the seller and the seller agent can hear you. This is my dream house. Because if, as the seller agent, I hear you say that, I will never ever give you a good price, because I know that you love this house and the seller knows that you love this house, so we are not going to give you the best price. So as a buyer, never say that. Tip number 2, even if the house is super messy and dirty, never ever let the seller hear this comment, because people have been living here their whole lives, or maybe just a few years, but every owner is house proud. So never ever let them hear you comment about the house, because it just leaves a very bad impression. Tip number 3, never ever ask the seller, why are you moving out, or the reason that you want to sell this house, because this might be a very personal question. You know, it invades into people's privacy. Some people might not want to share. So the right person to ask is actually your buyer's agent, and ask your buyer agent to check with the seller's agent why they're selling this place, and not ask in front of the seller. Tip number 4, never ever ask the seller itself what's the price you want to sell, because these are negotiations that should happen between the agent and your agent and the seller's agent. So you really shouldn't be asking the seller this, because they're going to tell you a price that you can't accept anyway, so why even bother? Tip number 5, never ever discuss your renovation plans while viewing the house, because you're talking about tearing down people's entire house. What kind of impression does it leave the seller? Maybe this is something that they are so proud of. They have spent thousands of dollars to renovate, and here you are, you're saying you want to hack this, you want to hack that. Hey, some people might find it offensive, so don't do it. Tip number 6, never ever flaunt your wealth when you're viewing the house, unless you are viewing a super luxurious $45 million house. Try to act humble, because if you act rich, I'm gonna know that you have money, so why should I give you a discount? So don't do it. Tip number 7, never ever do negotiations with the seller in the same location. It usually doesn't end up well, and you make the agent's job extremely difficult. And for the last point, tip number 8, don't ever lowball the seller, because if you give an outrageous lowball offer, you might insult the seller, and even if you love the house and you decide to increase the price to a more acceptable level after that, the seller might be so offended that he refuses to sell you the house. Now, as a seller, I've done that before myself. I've encountered hundreds of sellers who've done that. So don't ever give a lowball offer. Now, if you like my content, do remember to like and subscribe. But if you need help with the buying or the selling process, do reach out to me. Details are in the description below, and I look forward to be hearing from you. Bye.